What happens with you and I as business owners, when we overwhelm our work, I can't go to my manager. I can't go to my president. It all falls on my shoulders. So I can't go to everybody. So I had to find out a way. How do I stop reacting? What happens when there's things happening in my life where I have no control over? Normally when we have no control over, you get anxious, and anxious leads to anger, and I get upset. And then all of a sudden I need to learn what to do when those things happen and who do I go to.
HOA Insights is brought to you by 6 companies that care about board members: Association Insights Marketplace, Association Reserves, Community Financials, Kevin Davis Insurance Services, HOA Invest, and the Inspectors of Election. You'll find links to their website and social media in the show notes.
Hi, I'm Robert Nordland of Association Reserves.
And I'm Kevin Davis of Kevin Davis Insurance Services. And this is HOA Insights, where we promote common sense
for common areas. Welcome to episode number 120, where we're again speaking with insurance expert and regular co-host Kevin Davis, so he can continue our theme of lowering the temperature at your association and in your own heart. There is, as you know, plenty of tension in a board member's life and plenty of incivility for you to deal with on an ongoing basis. So this episode is for you. In addition to being an insurance expert, Kevin is a UCLA trained mindfulness facilitator. And that was news to me, but frankly, knowing Kevin all these years, I'm not surprised by all of his capabilities. So Kevin is professionally trained with tools to de-escalate tension, create space for better decisions, and cultivate emotional intelligence, all of which are crucial in the high-stakes, high-stress environment of community association leadership, especially when you're doing this as a volunteer. So this helps you, our podcast audience, to be well-informed and to be effectively equipped for the challenging work you do leading your association. Last week's episode number 119 featured a great interview with Melissa Ramsey, professionally. She's in the community association consulting business, but she was on the program because she's currently the president of CAI National's Board of Trustees. I hope you enjoyed her message on health and wellness, some hallmarks of her personal skill set and her company's strengths. And if you missed that episode or any other prior episode, take a moment after today's program to listen from our podcast website, hoainsights.org, or watch on our YouTube channel. But better yet, subscribe from any of the major podcast platforms so you don't miss any future episodes. And those of you watching on YouTube can see the HOA Insights mug that I have. Kevin's got his mug too. And we got those from the merch store, which you can browse through from our hoainsights.org website or the link in the show notes. You'll find that we have some great free stuff there, like board member Zoom backgrounds and some specialty items for sale like these mugs. So go to the merch store, download a free Zoom background, then take a moment, look around, find the mug you'd like, and if you're the 10th person to email me at podcast@reservestudy.com, mentioning episode 120 mug giveaway, and we'll ship that mug to you free of charge. Well, we enjoy hearing from you, responding to the issues you're facing at your association. So if you have a hot topic, a crazy story, or a question you'd like us to address, you can always contact us at 805-203-3130 or email us at podcast@reservestudy.com. But today's episode comes from Kevin. He wanted to share some of what he's learned and applied about mindfulness with our audience here. So, Kevin, tell me, what is mindfulness?
And again, once again, I'm glad to be here. And I think this topic is so important today. Because when we talk about mindfulness, mindfulness is a pretty simple term. That is, pay attention on purpose. As simple as that. Pay attention on purpose.
Pay attention on purpose. Okay. I'm closing my eyes, paying attention on purpose.
Yes.
Okay.
Let me tell you what that means. You do reserve studies. Let's say you just finished a reserve study in downtown LA, right? Just got it done. Just put down. And once you finish that reserve study, while you're doing it, you are on purpose, right? You're paying attention on purpose while you're doing that reserve study. Once that reserve study,
right,
you're done, you're finished, you're going back home, right? From downtown LA, right? Now all of a sudden, guess what happens to your brain? Your brain wants to solve another problem. It wants to do something. Okay, it wants to work. Your brain's constantly on. So once that reserve study is done, your brain, you're finished for the day. You want to go home and relax and maybe watch Netflix or whatever. But what happens is your brain starts to go in many different directions. But the one direction it'll go into it goes back into, did I do it the right way?
Yeah.
Did I do the last one the right way? Did I do what I did 6 months ago the right way? So
am I prepared for tomorrow?
First of all, you start worrying about yesterday.
Yeah.
Which creates certain levels of depression. Or you get anxious about tomorrow. So even though your body's in that present moment and you're going home and you're riding on a 101 and all of a sudden your brain, you're daydreaming, or you're worried about the past, which creates depression, or you worry about the future, which creates anxiety. So that's the world we live in. The only time when we don't live in that world is when we are in the present moment on purpose. So our bodies is always in the present moment on purpose. My hand's on that steering wheel, you know. I'll be listening to the radio, but my brain is in autopilot. So when you're on autopilot, guess what's happening? You're not on purpose. But what happens when you're driving home in that 101? What happens is that the truck comes by, or you may be crossing the 405. Guess what? You're on purpose. So things only happen when you are being in the present moment and on purpose. And that's what all mindfulness is.
Let me get some clarity on that. Be present and on purpose. I'm a business owner, so when you said your brain is always going, then yes, my brain is always going. I finished the site inspection of the reserve study. I jump in the car. What happened at the office? Am I ready for tomorrow? My brain is on purpose. But when I'm in the car, I do like to turn on a podcast. I have a short list of podcasts that I enjoy, and that allows me to kind of turn my brain off. Is that resting my brain, or is that an escape? Or tell me about that.
No. Okay, good. When you turn it on, you're being deliberate. You're on purpose. You're learning. Okay. You're informing yourself. So whenever you do that, you are active. That's when you stop reacting to the world. Okay? Reactivity comes from, guess what? Not being in the present moment. We react to things that are happening around the world that we have no control over. But when we have control in our lives, when we're doing things on purpose and deliberate, guess what? Things happen. Things only happen when we are focused on the present moment. Okay? If you're riding home and you listen to your podcast and you're learning about what's going on in the world of community associations, that you're in the present moment. But let's say you listen to old music and you're daydreaming. Okay? And that's what a lot of us do. We listen to old music, but it brings back memories of what happened in the past. So what happens is we start thinking about the past, and worries may come up nothing, but our brains are not active. The brain is not. The brain's active because our brain wants to solve problems. It's all our brain wants to do is one thing, is constantly solving problems. And it looks for problems to solve. What mindfulness does is one simple thing. It says, guess what? I'm daydreaming, or I am worried, or I am anxious. And once you understand that reality, you can do something about it. Okay? For example, let's say you drive home and you worry about all the things you just said. I have to go back to the office. I got more things to do. I got a podcast to worry about. What mindfulness does,
I guess the schedule.
Yes, but all of your brain says, "Wait a minute, let me stop." Let me stop. And that's the number one tool mindfulness has is stop. Okay, and whenever you get overwhelmed, you're coming home and you got all the stuff. You go, "Wait a minute, let me stop." And stop means stop, and this, it's not a physical stop what you're doing, but you just shut your body. So wait, let me just stop. Take a breath.
Kevin,
observe what's going on.
Yeah.
And then you go. That's it. As simple as that.
I met a guy and he told me about his daily routine, another business owner, work. And on his way home, he had the last stop sign and he pulled over at that last stop sign and gave himself a couple of minutes literally to stop. And that was his stop sign to stop working. And he started thinking about his wife. He started thinking about his kids. And then the last 30 seconds of his drive, until he pulled up into his driveway in his home, he became dad. And he became the dad that his family needed him to be in that last 30 seconds after he had stopped to kind of let the baggage go of all these other things. Is that a little bit of what you're talking about? Stopping?
That's exactly. Exactly what I'm talking about. What he did was exactly what you're supposed to do whenever you get overwhelmed. Okay. In other words, again, if we're overwhelmed, why? We're not present right now. We're just, everything is happening right now. We worry about the past, we worry about the future, we worry about everything. So when we stop, and the word stop is you stop, you take a breath,
Okay.
you observe what's happening, and then you proceed. That's how we do it. STOP. Stop, take a breath, observe, and proceed. And exactly what your friend did. Exactly what he did. And he may have never taken a mindfulness class in his life.
No, this is forever ago. That was
the one
before I think
tool.
mindfulness was invented.
That was the one tool for mindfulness, is to do exactly what he did. And then what happens is, once you stop, you're in that present moment. And he became present at that point in time, and he was able to come home and deal with his family. And that's the same thing happened to me when I joined mindfulness about 15 years ago.
Okay.
I was overwhelmed by work. And what happens with you and I as business owners, when we overwhelm our work, I can't go to my manager. I can't go to my president. It all falls on my shoulders. So I can't go to everybody. So I had to find out a way. How do I stop reacting? What happens when there's things happening in my life where I have no control over? Normally when we have no control over, you get anxious, and anxious leads to anger, and I get upset. And then all of a sudden I need to learn what to do when those things happen and who I go to. And, and I go internally. You go to yourself and go, okay, wait a minute. I Googled mindfulness. I heard about it in UCLA. I said, well, UCLA is a great institution.
Yep.
Let me go there. I took mindfulness for about 8 years before I joined a class to teach it, because I realized the importance of being able to take a breath and not reacting to everything that goes on. Especially for me, because I'm a hyper guy. I'm a hyper. I get excited a lot. I'm always on. So to be able to stop, take a breath, and just stop. And that's what happens when we have our conversations. I love to have conversation with you because I'm an active guy. Normally, historically, I'm like, yeah, come on, guess what, Robert, guess what? And we can do this. Hey, guess what? But what I've learned is to stop and wait for you to go. And I go, yeah, but this is another way we can do this thing. As before, we talk and you talk, we never talk at each other. I take a stop, take a step back, I listen to you, and then I proceed. Yeah.
Well, Kevin, you're always saying fascinating things, and the circuits are firing in my brain. My son is a Navy pilot, and he has told me about this thing, the Reno air races. And apparently these small planes fly around a pylon course, and the secret to going fast, and the mantra is, fast is slow and slow is fast, because the more you can be smooth about your actions and go around the course smooth, that leads to a faster time. Because if you're jerking and reacting and always correcting, then it ends up with a slow time. And what I'm hearing you say is slow it down and get your life together, get your self-focused, work in the present, and get rid of all the gazillion things that, the marketing messages. What do we hear about all the marketing messages we hear each day? Hundreds or thousands? There's lots of stuff floating around, and we just need to, the YouTube people can watch it, kind of cut through the clutter and just get to, what do I need to do now? Is that?
Exactly. And this is how it works too, is that, let's say you're in New York City. In New York City, you have Times Square. You have every subway in the world going through the A, the B, the C, the 1, the 2. And what happens is, what our brain does, it goes on the first subway that comes by. Okay? That's what happens. We have these thoughts constantly coming in, and whenever our thought comes in, we jump in it. Just like we jump on that first subway. What we have to do with our thoughts is wait for that right thought to pay attention to. So now all of a sudden, if I'm going uptown, I'm not going to catch it when it goes crosstown. But what happens is that historically what we do is whatever thoughts come through, we gravitate to them and we worry about them, or we get anxious about them. When mindfulness tells us to, as we quiet the mind, we realize what things really are important. Like your friend said, my family is more important, okay? Quieting the mind does that. And what you said about your son, to go slow, you quiet your mind. Our mind wants to solve problems. So we bring it down to a certain level, what problems that really, truly need to be solved. Because there's constant thoughts in there going, I need to do this, I need to do that, I worry, anxious, worry, anxious. It goes back and forth because your brain wants to solve those problems. The only time it doesn't happen is when you have a project to do. When you have a hobby to do, if you like gardening or cooking, if you like playing golf, whatever your hobby you do, you're in the present moment. And guess what? Life is the best.
Yeah.
That your friend said, I'm with my family. That is the best moment in time when you're with your family on purpose, as opposed to with your family and you're daydreaming when you worry about work.
Kevin, I do love going to the golf driving range because when I'm hitting balls, I'm hitting at targets, I'm focusing on that. And you're right. That's all I'm working on then. And there are times when I'm at dinner and my wife will say, leave work behind her. What's she say? She's something like that. And I says, how do you know, or she says something like, where did you go? I was like, oh, and she says, because I noticed your hands are clenched. And I'm at the dinner table with my hands clenched. And she says, let it go. We're here at dinner. And I just imagine there's so much tension inside your body that there's physical manifestations.
That's it. When we talk about stop, what we do is stop, but you observe what's happening in your body. Your shoulders are up, your hands are clenched, and then you let go. You don't have to have your wife tell you to let go. Mindfulness tells you, wait a minute, I need to let go.
Okay, now that I'm getting a sense of, I almost want to call you a Zen master on this, but what does this mean for board members? Tell me about how this applies to community associations.
Okay. When we talk about mindfulness, there's two aspects of mindfulness that we have to be concerned about, What we've talked about was mindfulness awareness, just being aware of what's happening right now in this moment in time, That I have a board meeting, I'm anxious about the board meeting, or I'm worried about the board meeting, or I don't care about it, I'm just going to the board meeting, I'm a daydream, One of those things is going to be happening, but whatever they are, you're not going to be present, and you're not going to be present, then you're going to react. So the first thing we want to do is be mindfully aware that we're going to use stop. Whenever we feel that we are out of control or we feel facing uncertainty, whenever you face any disagreement, let me just stop and take a breath, observe what's happening in my hands, observe what's happening in my body, and then answer the question. It could take a second or 5 seconds, or it could take a couple of minutes. You can sit by yourself while stuff's going on and go, okay, let me really stop, slow it down, let me take a breath. They're talking and everything, but not me. I'm going to just find what's happening in my body right now. I feel these sensations all over, tension all over my body. And as you describe it, it takes the power away.
Yeah.
When you describe that right now, I'm really angry about what they're talking about. And I'm angry. Okay, well, let me deal with that. I'm angry. Oh, I'm reacting to anger. Okay, let me just not react to the anger right now. And then the key part of it, then we go and cultivate kindness. And then what we want to do is be kind to everybody else. To me, it's always a 3-part thing. You have to quiet the mind first, and then you relax the body, understanding what's happening in the body, relaxing. And then you come back, you cultivate mindfulness by using kindness. Kindness is the thing that you do. So by being kind to others, and it's just easy to do that. It just say, in your mind, now you'll say to God, may you be well.
Yeah.
May you be well. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. And what happens is you feel better, and then all of a sudden you feel better just by feeling. If I look at you right now and just say, may you be happy, may you be peaceful, may you be healthy, may you be strong. I'm saying that in my mind, all of a sudden you feel my reaction just to be, and then all of a sudden it's hard to be angry at somebody when inside your brain you're going, may you be peaceful, may you be happy. And then you look at somebody and go, may you be healthy, and may your health continue. And that's the key part about mindfulness that brings in the kindness part of it. And that's what you see when you're seeing people that are really genuinely happy, because they're not happy about themselves, they're happy for you too. May you be well. That's all. May you be well. I appreciate you as a human being. And that's the key to how we do it from a board member perspective, Now, that's part 1 is awareness. Part 2 is a mindfulness meditation. And that's the key to all of it, the meditation part of it. Because as we meditate, we end up quieting the mind, we can calm the body, and then we can move forward and be kind to others. You can't be kind to others unless we're kind to ourselves first. And when we get kind to first, if we understand what's going on in the body.
The kind of things you're talking about, I realize are not new.
No.
The golden rule is as old as humans. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Yeah.
And you're talking about being aware of. When you were talking, I was thinking about, because I do some expert witness work in reserves and financing and that kind of stuff. And I was on the witness stand and an attorney was badgering me. And I could feel him getting under my skin. And then I started looking at him. And my entire attitude, my character towards him changed from, he's a mean man to, he's got his set of problems and he's grasping at straws to get me to say the wrong thing. And all of a sudden I became so peaceful. And that idea of slowing down, being present, and then serving others. He must have problems in his life. Is his washing machine broken? Did he not have enough time to get to the dry cleaners? And all of a sudden, when you have a compassionate heart, you're not mad at the person.
That's the key. The key thing is that we have a choice. There's a point in time in mindfulness we said, wait a minute, I'm really angry. And you did it. You experienced anger. What you did is you looked at him and said he's a human being. Now we have a choice of treating somebody with kindness or treating somebody with a negative emotion. Say you are evil, you are wicked, you are a bad person. Or you can say, listen, may you be well.
Yeah.
May you be well. May you be free from suffering. May you find joy. May you experience joy. And you look at a person and do that, it takes the power away from him against you because you're recognizing him as a human being. If you were in a board of directors in a condo association, the temperature's rising, what you want to do is lower the temperature by just calming your brain, just quieting the brain. And then all of a sudden, cultivate the kindness by saying, guess what? May you be well. May you be happy, May you just be free,
Yeah.
Whatever it is that comes into your brain that promotes kindness. What you did is that you promoted a sense of compassion for a person. It's the same thing. It's gratitude. I'm happy to be part of you. I'm happy with you. I'm happy to be here with you. I'm glad I'm here with you. May this continue. May it never end. These are things that takes cultivating. And the thing about things like gratitude and compassion and joy, those things have to be worked on.
Yeah.
Because we don't. We know how to control our anger and our sadness, and we love being angry. I mean, we've been our whole lives. Anger has been that one thing we learn how to control. We learn how to use in our favor. But we never learn how to use things like joy and compassion to our favor because they have to be cultivated, especially in times when you really, truly need them.
I want to go deeper on that, but I'm looking at the time and it's time to take a break. So, Kevin, let's take a quick break now to hear from one of our generous sponsors, after which we'll be back with more common sense for common areas. And I want to hear more about what a meditation is. So join us in just a minute.
Is your HOA or condo self-managed and you don't want to work as hard volunteering? Are you full managed and looking to save money? Or are you looking to split the accounting from a manager's role for better service? Let Community Financials handle the monthly accounting for you. We collect dues, pay bills, produce financial reports, include portals, and help with other support services, all while providing awesome service. We'd love the opportunity to help you make your community accounting stress-free with our industry-leading systems and expert team. Visit our website, communityfinancials.com, to learn more.
And we're back. Well, Kevin, before the break, you had my brain spinning. I was trying to be present and savor your words. That's what you were talking about. Be aware, slow down, stop, actually, cultivate kindness, meditate. But help me with that, because when I think about meditating, I think about when I've slowed down and I think about what's going on in my life, what are my concerns, what do I have control over. Boy, it's a gorgeous day outside. I'm so glad for my wife. Things like that. When I slow myself down and I can choose what then I want to speak about. So that's kind of my untrained understanding. But tell me, what is a meditation? What are you recommending? What are you talking about here?
That's good. Now, there's different types of meditation because most people, when they hear the word meditation, they think about emptying their brain. And, it's not about emptying the brain. Meditation is about focusing on something that is neutral, okay? Normally, it's the breath, where you just breathe in and you breathe out. And meditation is about, that's what it is, just breathing in and noticing the breath. Now, what happens is there's nothing more boring than noticing the breath because there's no judgment. There's no breath at the breath. For example, if I tell you to focus in on my hand, right? Now, I say focus on my hand, and same thing, focusing on your breath. Now, what happens eventually, you'll end up not focusing, you're focusing everything else, my face and everything else. But mindfulness says, come back to the hand. So focus your attention on the hand, which is neutral. It's a hand,
Okay.
So what you want to do is the way you quiet your mind is focusing on something that is neutral. The breath is neutral. Sounds are neutral. Okay? So by focusing on something that's neutral, it quiets the mind. Now, your brain doesn't like that. Your brain wants to solve the problem. So your brain going to say, this is boring. I'm going to divert my attention. Every time you divert your attention.
Doing?
Yes, exactly. Whenever it happens, that's mindfulness. Whenever you say, aha, I diverted my attention, you come back to the breath. If you never meditated before, within 5 seconds of breathing in and breathing out, you're going to be saying, wait a minute, I'm doing this wrong, this is not working. But as soon as you say that, that is mindfulness. So eventually get to a point where you're recognizing it, mindfulness, bring it back to the breath, so that when you are going home and you start to worry, you'll do the same thing. I'm worried. I'm not paying attention, and you bring it back to paying attention when you need to. Our brains are automatic pilot most of the time because it takes a lot of energy to work the brain. Nothing wrong with that. But when it goes off kilter, when you daydream about, spending the time with your wife and at the beach or whatever, that's okay. But the problem comes in, what happens if I can't? What happens if I don't make enough money? Wait a minute, mindfulness. Let me stop doing that and bring it back into the present moment. So when you focus your energy on the breath, every time you leave the breath, mindfulness. It's like a pendulum that swings. It'll go further and further out. But every time it gets out to a certain point, you bring it back. Eventually, if you do this over time, like I do this, I could do this like 20, 25 minutes a day. And then at 20, 25 minutes a day, it comes and it goes. It comes and it continues, comes and it goes. And it eventually quiets the mind to the point where, you make the things that really truly matter comes out. And then you pay attention to those things. We're going to meditate. You got any questions before we meditate?
Yeah, I do have a question.
Okay.
Is that 20 or 25 minutes some of the best minutes of your day?
Yes. But it has to be timed perfectly, because what happens if it's the wrong time, those 20, 25 minutes, you will sleep.
Oh, right. Okay, I understand that.
Yes.
Okay, and also, I wonder, I'm wringing my hands just thinking about it. If I was to slow down and stop and do that, I'm guessing I would be bad at it at first. Is it like exercising where you need to walk before you run? So give yourself a little bit of grace here.
Yeah, give yourself some kindness to yourself, okay? Because it is hard. Because first of all, you're going to think you're doing it wrong. I've done this in a group of people. And the first thing you do is that you look around and go, I can't be doing this thing right. It is nothing easier to do than this, but it's so easy that we think we can't be doing it the right way. And it's a way that if you really get into it, it eliminates a lot of medication you're taking. A lot of things that we take right now, that we take because of anxiety or high blood pressure or weight loss, all those things disappear when you're able to have control over your body. And mindfulness, all it does is say, wait a minute, you're recognized at this point in time where you're not paying attention. The hardest thing to do is focus on your breath for any length of time because it is boring and your brain wants to solve a problem. As soon as you recognize, I'm daydreaming, I'm worried, you say I'm worried in your brain, and guess what? You're not worried anymore. You bring it back because at this moment, you have nothing to worry about. At this moment, as you and I are talking, you have no problems at all. Zero. At this moment, and that's the point in time. That's what we worry about. When you meditate, you realize that at this moment, you are okay. We're all okay right now. Whoever's listening to this podcast right now, they're okay. Nothing matters right now. And that's why the present moment is so important, because we spend too much time worrying about the past and the future that we can't enjoy. Right now, you and I are enjoying ourselves, Robert, and we do every time we do a podcast.
Yeah.
What happens once you hang up the phone? Once we go to our emails, we worry, we got anxiousness, it all comes back. The difference with me after 15 years of doing mindfulness is that, I'm anxious right now. And guess what? I still get anxious. All those things still happen. And it doesn't mean they go away. I'm the same guy. I'm the same high energy guy I've always have been.
But you have the tool now.
I have a tool.
Oh, gee. Okay.
Self-control.
Are you going to talk us through something? Or are you going to guide us through something?
We're going to do a meditation for about, until I get it done. This is the important part about this meditation. If you do this meditation before you go into your board meeting, you have a board meeting, okay? And this meditation is designed for one thing. Right now, Robert, you were a board president. I'm a board president. Okay. I'm have a contentious meeting. Okay.
Yeah.
And you are feeling a contentious meeting, but even if not contentious, you know how you feel before you go to a board meeting. So this mindfulness meditation is designed for that before when you walk into that room and sit in that chair. This meditative posture first. Okay. This is kind of your posture. It's like a string is on top. You kind of pull it up like that. That's your position. Okay. And we'll start by taking that nice deep breath in, exhale, inhale, exhale. And now we're going to just breathe normally. You notice your shoulder rise as you inhale, lowers as you exhale. You notice a slight pause as you inhale, then you exhale. Going to inhale, slight pause, and exhale.
I can even hear my heartbeat in the headphones. I can feel so much more about what is happening in my life, I should say my body.
Now your brain wants to get bored and do other things, but just stay in the moment. Just keep noticing the breath. All we're doing is quiet the mind, and then we're going to relax the body. We know we have a big board meeting coming up. We have a lot of thoughts, a lot of sensations going on in the body, a lot of emotions. But right now, none of that matters because all we want to do is quiet the mind. And we're focusing in on the breath. Inhale and exhale. Now what we want to do is relax the body. And we do that by bringing our attention to our facial muscles, starting from forehead. We're going to soften and relax all of our facial muscles, starting with the forehead. Just relax those forehead muscles. Just soften them and relax them. We're going to soften and relax them around the eyes. Just let them go. Soften and relax around the cheeks, your mouth, your tongue. Just let everything relax and soften. All your facial muscles are just relaxed and softened. You have a board meeting and you relax your entire body before we go into that meeting. Now we'll go to the neck muscles. We're going to soften and relaxing all those muscles along the neck, one by one. And now we're going to go to the shoulders. Just relax your shoulders. Just let them go. Your left shoulder, your right shoulder. Soften and relax them. We're going to relax the arms. And we're going to cup one hand in the other. By cupping one hand in the other, the same thing, we take a small child's hand and say, that right now you are safe. You're in a safe, you're secure. You have nothing to worry about. You have a sense of you're in control right now. Now we're going to recognize the back and our chair, how our chair and our back, we're supported right now, how we held together, how we held up, how we know at this point in time that we're okay and that we're ready. You're ready for a meeting no matter what. Because right now, we're safe. We're in a safe environment, and we know we can do this. Before we go into our meeting, we want to wish everybody well. We want to be kind to everybody in that meeting. It may be a little challenging, but right now, we're going to take a few minutes and just focusing the people in that meeting that we know are supportive of us, that knows that whatever we say, they will be on our side. They will be encouraging and supportive. And we want to take a moment and wish them well in this meeting. And we're going to say, may you be happy. May you be safe. May you be free from suffering. May you be healthy. May you be strong. May you continue the support. And just pick words that you feel are comforting to those people that support you and back you up. Just feel that group right now, the support you get from them and how they make you feel. And then what we want to do is picture the other group in there, the ones that come to all the meetings, and they don't say anything, but you want to wish them well. You wish that that they're okay, that they're happy, that they're free from suffering, that they're healthy. And then you want to do is tackle the harder group, the challenging group, if you want to. If you don't want to do that, stick with the group that brings you joy, the ones that when you see them, you feel a sense of calm and ease. But before we end the meditation, what we want to do is that bring that one person of mind that matters to you in your life. That one person, and bring them in front of you so you can wish that person well. Right now, you're imagining a person that you care for and they care for you, and they're in front of you. They're supporting you because they know that this board meeting can be challenging for you, but right now, they're giving you support that you need. They're wishing you well. They're saying, may you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you have a good board meeting. And you stay with that feeling right now. You know how you feel. And so when you enter that board meeting, you know right now that you are in control. That you're going to go in that meeting with kindness and compassion. And you're going to have one of the best board meetings you ever had. All right, let's end the meditation. And Robert, how do you feel?
Well, you took me to a happy place. I had no problems. I love holding a child's hand, walking them across the street, and I was holding my own hand. I was in a safe place. Kevin, I'm going to have to remember episode 120 and bookmark this one, whatever it is, because to have an old friend with your kind voice walking me through, just settling myself down, and there's a little bit of voice saying, this is going to be a lousy podcast because there's so much silence. Then I was thinking, this could be the best podcast because people are going to bookmark this and come back because it's good for them. And
Yeah.
this is a good, I don't know what that was, 5 minutes.
No.
I don't know how long it was. I don't care. But it's going to be a good, after you do it once, stopwatch it, time it, and give yourself that much time before a board meeting. And I felt like I'm good to go. It's fantastic stuff. Anyway, you're good at this. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah. Well, again, I teach it. This is what I do. I teach it. And for the record, I teach at that LA library one week every month in downtown LA.
Okay. Well, downtown LA has its challenges, or LA has its challenges.
Yes,
fires and
yep.
Yeah. And there's a lot of anxiety local. There's a lot of anxiety in the world. Well, Kevin, this is a fascinating and absolutely wonderful time that we've had here today. Like you said, I always enjoy talking to you, and I just hope this was meaningful, settling down for everyone who has joined us to listen to this. Any closing, wrapping thoughts that you want to add?
The key to this thing is whenever you have a board meeting, at any time of meeting, let's say you're at work, listen to this part of it, and then it'll make you feel ready for anything you're going to experience in life. Even if right now, look, we all living in challenging times. We hate uncertainty. We love certainty, predictability in our lives. Listen to that little meditation, and you will feel a lot better about whatever happening. So there's a lot of things happening right now.
That's for sure. That's for sure. Well, thank you so much. Again, I'm going to have to keep this one on bookmark or whatever. Episode 120. My closing line is we hope you learned some HOA insights from our discussion today, but I hope you learned some mindfulness techniques today that helps you be a better person. And as you do that, that brings a greater person to your association, which brings common sense to your common areas. Thank you for joining us. I hope it was at least as helpful to you as it was to me. We look forward to bringing many more episodes to you, fascinating episodes on this topic or another topic or any topic, week after week after week. We're going to be here, and it'll be great to have you join us. So thank you so much, and we look forward to having you join us on a regular basis. Spread the word, and we'll see you next time.
You've been listening to HOA Insights, common sense for common areas. If you like the show and want to support the work that we do, you can do so in a number of ways. The most important thing that you can do is engage in the conversation. Leave a question in the comments section on our YouTube videos. You can also email your questions or voice memos to podcast@reservestudy.com or leave us a voicemail at 805-203-3130. If you gain any insights from the show, please do us a huge favor by sharing the show with other board members that you know. You can also support us by supporting the brands that sponsor this program. Please remember that the views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the hosts and guests, with the goal of providing general education about the community association industry. You'll want to consult licensed professionals before making any important decisions. Finally, this podcast was expertly mixed and mastered by Stokelight Video and Marketing. With Stokelight on your team, you'll reach more customers with marketing expertise that inspires action. See the show notes to connect with Stokelight.